Good time zone, everyone. Wilkins, your naturally born hated Virgo is speaking. And I don't think I got enough rest. But I'm going to do something that I used to do, which is where I pretty much do a pause, then stop, pause, then stop, pause, then stop. I'll talk for a bit on a subject, and then I will pretty much say, all right, and then move on to the next topic. So, end stream, start stream, end stream, start stream. A huge thank you to Dorky Boyo, who I just got an update from them. Had to reach out because they've been so busy. That their teeth are doing a lot better, so that's good. Also, after 20 plus years of waiting, I'm gonna finally have my first ever massage machine. Well, not a massage machine, but a massage mat. So I'll be able to have full and effective massages and not feel a lot of stress after my workouts, which I won't lie, I need to get back to doing workouts. Just that when you're a caretaker and whatnot, it takes a lot of the energy out of you. So without further ado, I would like to go ahead and just start off on some topics. One of the topics that I want to start off is why streaming feels dead for a lot of people. Have you ever went to someone's stream and it just feels like that the energy is just not there anymore? Folks, the reason why that's the case is because your big time streamers and whatnot are secretly getting burnt out. What happens when a human is not challenged? They simply look for something else to challenge them. And Virgos, that is exactly how we are, but we take it to the extreme because we want to be challenged to the utmost so we can benefit from it all. But Virgos, ask yourself this: why is it that we can never just stay in one spot? Because that's not what God intended for any of us. I'm just gonna be real with you. That's not what the universe intended. He created us so we can explore different avenues, not stay stuck into one thing. So I'm going to give you four main reasons as to why streamers are just flat out not feeling it anymore. This is bigger than drama. This is bigger than old friendships are severed. This is bigger than any of that. It's even bigger than competition. It's bigger than the AI. Actually, not really bigger than the AI, but you get my point. So sit back, relax, grab your snacks, because I'm going to be talking your head off like a Virgo does. So, all my fellow Virgos, make sure you like, make sure you share, make sure you subscribe, and let's dig deep into this topic. When it comes to streaming, a lot of people do it for fun, a lot of people do it for money, and a lot of people do it for recognition. But what people fail to understand and realize is that streaming was already a trap within itself. See, Virgos, including myself, we're not know it alls, but we have a kind of like an idea of pretty much thinking that this is kind of a waste of time. Like you do it, you stream, you say what you got to say, and then you're done. But what do you get out of it? Not really anything. We know this because we pay attention to a lot of patterns. We know those that are really passionate about streaming, and we know those that are in it for different reasons. Now, when I was under the moniker of another name, I pretty much already talked about this, so I'm just going to go ahead and just kind of summarize a bit because I really want to go a little bit deeper into this topic. Because what I'm seeing on every single streaming platform is that the people are getting tired of the streamer, and the streamer is starting to get tired of the content. See, the rules have changed. Remember everything that you learned about being a streamer from 2 years ago? Throw that in the trash because that information is now irrelevant. The rules have changed. So, reason number one, it is a forever changing climate that changes way too fast. To my 18 plus streamers, you're not doing anything wrong. To my SFW streamers, to those who, actually care about the people and actually have, something planned for, the next stream and everything, you're not doing anything wrong. It's just that the algorithm changes the moment you hit start stream. Even big time streamers will tell you that they notice a decline in their viewers. They go from 10,000 viewers and then all of a sudden it goes to 8,000. Now, to small streamers like ourselves, or unknowns, as people like to call us Virgos, we'll look at that and be like, that's not a big deal. But viewers equal money. Subscriptions equal money. It all equals money. Time and money. Investment. So the viewers equal investment, and the subscriptions and whatnot, the bits, that equals money. So what happens is we have an audience. You have to keep them entertained. People can say all they want, I'm not a puppet to these people, I'm not this. Yes, you are. And if you're not a puppet for the people, you're simply a puppet to someone else, to the one that is the ringleader that controls everything that's going on. They control what goes on within each site. So they look at people like me or Dilcher Davis or whatnot, and we happen to say things that the algorithm doesn't like. Well, guess what? They destroy our viewers. They make it impossible for people to find us. And they do it in a way where it's hush hush. Now, pay close attention to the streamers who entertain, who just say the bare minimum. How many views they get. Yeah. It's fascinating, isn't it? It honestly makes you think on one thing. Did I do something wrong? And the only thing that I can say is no, you didn't do anything wrong. On the contrary, you did everything right. It's just the rules of the game have changed. Just when you thought that you knew exactly what was going on, no. It changes just like that. That first ban that you received is now pretty much being broadcast to other streamers, making your time as a streamer tough. Doesn't matter if you didn't do anything. You are now on everyone's cautionary list within that group. And to the ones that say, oh, we don't care, they do care because they want to know what did they do to get banned. Mm-hmm. See, it's a game. And the only way to win the game is to not play at all or assimilate and do what they do in a creative matter, sell your soul, and then fall hard like a certain legend that has literally have received the back end of everyone's hand by a certain racial group, black people, which I can say because I'm black. And I think you know the certain legend I'm talking about. The immortal Hulk Hogan. He grew way too big too fast, ended up ruining his life, and his last moments was regret. That is a horrible way to live. But getting back on topic. So, how do you keep up with this? The answer is simple. You cannot. You can't keep up with this. It's impossible because it is designed that way. It is designed to keep you, the streamer, and you, yes, you, the viewer that's trying to find your favorite streamer that has been, speaking the truth or at least entertain you in the best way, makes it difficult for you to find them. They make you do the work. because if the algorithm doesn't see them as profitable anymore, they're gone. Gone from the algorithm, gone from your eyes. A lot of people told me, when's your next stream? I've been waiting for your stream, and I've been streaming almost every day. On another platform, yes, but I've been streaming. But the algorithm didn't like what I had to say, and therefore changed the rules. See, that's just how powerful us small streamers really are. We actually are the ones in the background that change the landscape of what goes on with the big streamers. If you don't think for 1 second that the big streamers don't come on your stream in secret to see what you're doing, they are. Some of them are laughing like, look at this loser with 0 views. But in the back of their mind, they're saying, huh, he at peace. She at peace. I don't have that. I got to deal with 50,000 plus gooners. I got to deal with investors breathing down my neck. I have no choice. I have to be this character. They could be themselves. Yeah. And for the same person to say that, the rules have changed. The best example I want to use is Mr. Bubbles. Remember Mr. Bubbles? One of the most popular furry streamers? How everyone loved Mr. Bubbles, and they still do. They still love Mr. Bubbles. Mr. Bubbles is amazing, gets consecutive, like 100, 1,000 views. And then all of a sudden, the moment that Mr. Bubbles wanted to change, the algorithm said, no, 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 no. If you change, we are going to make sure that no one sees you because we like Mr. Bubbles. We don't want this other character. Mr. Bubbles, of course, said, well, I want this other character. And the algorithm said, no. So guess what happened? A lot of people can't even find this version of Mr. Bubbles. So it forced Mr. Bubbles to go back to the old version and change up a bit to keep and maintain their views. Streaming is not freedom, it's slavery. It's modern day slavery. You it's pretty much like a job. You do what you do, you pretty much entertain a bunch of people that you're never gonna meet IRL. And then of course you desensitize yourself into thinking that you're having fun. And then to the point until when you realize this, that when you try to entertain yourself for others and yourself, you end up failing. When you entertain just for them, you succeed and you lose part of yourself. There's a lot of people now, when I try to spread the word about their streams, they get scared and say, no, 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 no. No, no, no. I'm good. Because the rules have changed. See, back in the day, it was an honor if a big streamer spread the word about you. Now, it's kind of like pity. It's pity. And the moment you mess up the first time, you are judged harshly, and that person will never come back to your streams. I am a living, breathing example, which is why I do these streams. I do these streams for a reason because I want people to understand that this can happen to anybody. You make one mistake, one wrong move, and there goes your viewers. Non existent. That is the harsh reality of life. Number two, the things that you thought that you needed, you don't need anymore. People used to go goo goo gaga, $1,000 avatar, this, and that. I need full body tracking. The traps of maintaining viewers. A lot of people fall for this to some extent. The adult streamers, again, this is on my SFW platform, so I could have to be careful and tread lightly. They fall for all the time. I need this, I need this, I need that, I need this certain toy, and just to get a bunch of views. And then before you know it, those viewers slowly dissipate. Going back to reason number one, you didn't do anything wrong. The rules have changed. The algorithm just saw, whatever, you're doing the same thing. We're going to go to someone else. Ooh, look at them. Ooh, wow. It's not your fault. There was somebody, and I'm not going to state their name because, again, this is the SFW version. If it was the other version, then I would say it. And she was pretty confident in her community and everything. And she still is. But the streaming schedule changed. First, it went from here's a stream, here's a stream, here's a stream to no, barely any streams at all. See, burnout is real. When you try to do things way too quickly, it destroys your energy. And I saw this coming. I could tell based on the type of conversations that I had with this individual, and I knew them in secret for over 2 years. It's sad to see this. It really is. Because you don't want to see people suffer like that. But Virgos, in order for society to thrive, you have to let certain people suffer and pretty much go through. If you try to fix it, you will be a detriment to their growth. So the traps that I notice is you got to play the latest games. Well, you got Xbox Game Pass now, so you're good. It's cheap. It's only what, $20 a month, which is still a little bit pricey, but when you think about it, you got access to 500 games. There's tons of free to play games on Steam that you can play and that you can make entertaining. But no, the trap that everyone follows is they want the viewers, not the legacy, the viewers. So they get caught up. And then they get so caught up that they start to miss out on what's really important. And then before you know it, they get all these viewers and all this fame and nothing in return. Two streamers that I used to hear about a lot, Zogger and Victory VR. See, I don't hear about them as much anymore. Maybe they changed their schedule. I don't know. But isn't it strange how all of a sudden everyone who was once big, right? It's like when the viewers start going down, when the money's not right, you don't hear from these people anymore. So then the followers feel betrayed. And then, of course, the friends of said streamer are like, oh, it's okay. Just keep doing what you're doing. But in the back of their mind, they're saying, wow, you gave up that quickly. It's harsh reality. Harsh reality, but it's the truth. You can call me mean. You can call me rude. I'm just telling you the truth. They do it to me. They do it to me. Here's another trap that a lot of people fall for. They're a streamer. Let me follow them. No. See, as a Virgo, I did this because I was being nice and I want to spread the word about other streamers and help them out. No. You can't do that. And when I was on this other platform, I've learned this. I told myself, I said, I'm only going to follow these people and that's it. So I said, you know what? Scratch that. I can follow this many people, but once I hit a number, I'm stopping. So my threshold, my limit is 100. Once I hit 100, I'm done. I'm not following anyone else on that other site for adults. My threshold's 100 and I'm stopping. See, during my Twitch days and whatnot and TikTok days, follow, hey, follow for follow. Let's check each other out. But if the interest of that person is not the same as yours, you're done. Because that person can make your content look bad. Unintentionally. Because you two don't mesh together. Now, did I ever care about that? No. Was it my intentions to be successful on these platforms? No, because I already know about the trap. Have I got sponsored? I have. What was the experience? It was a fantastic experience. I learned a lot more about business and how it works and about NDAs and whatnot. Heck, I even got, added to a video game. It was a wonderful experience. Let's continue. So these traps is just based off of popularity rating scales. And you have to be very careful. It is easy. I followed so many streamers and I only hear back from 5% of them. And the ones that I try to get back to apologize and tell me, look, I have to do this because I'm in a financial crisis. I know we used to hang out, but I'm dealing with a situation. But the only thing I can say to these folks is this: I understand, but there comes a point in time where a simple hi can really do a lot of healing, especially with everything that I'm going through. So when some people ask me how I'm doing, it gets exhausted because it's like, I already know what I'm going through. I don't want to keep having to say it, but you get my point. See, it's a trap within a trap within a trap. The Cash App trap, the follow trap. Be careful. A lot of my favorite Twitch streamers and YouTubers that I really care for quit because they fell for the trap instead of trying to grow their own community. Some people say you should set boundaries of who you allow, and it has nothing to do with the fact that you need to have this cultist like attitude of having only ponies and only furries and only humans. No, you just have to set the boundaries because streaming is for everyone, whether you like it or not. And if you don't like it, there's the door. It's really that simple. And there are other platforms that try to compete and failed because they missed the whole point. It's a trap. But trying to buy the latest gadgets. Remember how there was all these videos talking about you need to buy this, this, and this? People are going back to PNG tuber models, saving money. Oh, you need 3, 4 poses, only 1 or 2 poses. Those days are over. People are losing their medical benefits, losing their homes, having to sell their equipment because the streaming craze, just like I predicted, is dying. So when you see other big streamers, they're pretty much are heading towards the end of streaming. They'll get their little rewards, they'll get their little badges or whatnot, but at the end of the day, they're just participation trophies. And these companies only have one thing in mind for these streamers: money to beta test. They're smart. They're not evil, they're smart. I mean, they're kind of evil, but it just depends who they are. It doesn't matter how or what you do, we've all have felt for the trap. You probably got a Steam library full of a bunch of games that you haven't even touched. Or you probably got a bunch of equipment that you don't even use. It's okay. Maybe you can use it another time, but for now, you unfortunately fell for the trap. You just got to live and deal with it. Learn from it. It's okay. Number 3. This is a big one. Collabs. They say that a bad collab is the end all be all of anybody's stream. A good collab creates growth. Because at the end of the day, all streamers are selfish to an extent. Because they have to be. Who would you choose? Your good friend that only has 5 views and maybe one sponsor? Or your rich friend who has 6,000 views and knows all these people and can pretty much help you out of a bad situation? I know a lot of you are gonna lie and say, I would choose my best friend. See, Virgos would do that. We'll choose our best friend and just grind our way through it. And then watch God do the rest. The rest of y'all motherfuckers are gonna go the easy route because you don't like pain. You don't like suffering. You're scared of it. So you want to go the easy route and destroy good friendships. And then as soon as that goes south and that person's done using you, then you want to crawl back and say, hey, how you doing? It's the same old, same old. And almost a lot of people have done it. Trust me, I was in a situation where I almost done that and I had to slap myself and say, no, it's not worth it. The people that you collab with, sometimes you have to ask yourself, friend or business? And I can tell you that a lot of them, business. Some of them, friends. Why? Because they have shown me I'm all about my business. Because they actually cared about my well being. They would send me a good hello every now and then. Some people need to know the difference. Because the truth of the reality is, when it comes to collabs, both parties had to pretty much put one another on a scale. They have to measure the pros and cons, the benefits. What do they get out of it? How much money it's going to cost? As Triple H, or as y'all like to call him, Triple K, says, it's nothing personal. It's just business. I've been stating that line ever since I first heard it back in 2000, what was it, middle 2000s. Was it middle 2000s or around like 2010, 2011, 12? Can't remember which one. But when he said that line, it woke me up because it's the truth. You could say what you want about Triple H, Triple K, Triple Fraud, whatever you want to call him. That man is about business. And he gets his money. If he sold his soul, he still got his money. He's playing the game because he knows how to take control. This song, Triple H theme, makes a lot more sense. It teaches you on how to win the game of life, but there's a sacrifice where you destroy lives. And I've talked about this before, but everyone's like, oh, see, that's the thing. People would rather go on a stream where they're comforted and they're loved and they're called Pookie and they, whatever, whatever. But when there's someone like me, they run because the truth makes people feel uncomfortable. And listen, I like feeling uncomfortable. If someone's telling me I'm lazy, I need to do better, I don't take that as an insult. I take that as motivation because I need that. I need someone to tell me I'm not doing right. I need someone to tell me I'm out of line. I need someone to tell me I need to get off my ass. But the rest of y'all, not you, my fellow Virgos, but the rest of y'all rather take the easy route, hang around these big streamers, get all the views and recognition, use them for what they're worth so you could do your own thing. Even if it means destroying friendships. It is what it is, right? So a good collab will guarantee that. But the good collab, the quick successful route, always guarantees three things: destroyed relationships, good ones, business deals that don't last long, and last but not least, fame that comes at a cost. So be careful. And if you don't care, then keep going. But be careful. And if you're in too deep, you better not reveal your real name. Last but not least, number four. Number four. This one hurts. The main reason why people stopped streaming, stopped caring, moved on. Death. The death of a family, the death of a loved one will literally make anybody think. Oh, you thought I was going to say a breakup. Nah, people can bounce back from that. Oh, you thought I was going to say mental trauma. It may take them a while, but people will bounce back from that. But when it comes to death, the death of a loved one, a friend, to some extent, even if you bounce back from that, it's going to hurt you. And you are pretty much going to say, I can't do this no more. And that is natural. Now, strong folks, of course, they'll be like, oh, I could keep going. But it's going to come to a point where it's just not going to feel the same. That's why I look at these streamers, right? And I just shake my head on how they treat others. Because they never know when that person that's fighting cancer or dealing with a bad situation, they may never know that that may be the last time that they see them again. And that same person may know somebody that is on your friends list or that works for the same company that you do. Why do you think when people do me wrong, I shut my mouth? Quick story. I met somebody who unfriended me. It was under my old moniker, my old name. And of course, he looks at me, he tries to, communicate. And I simply shut it down and said, if you're looking for that person, they went that way. The message I sent them is, you had your chance. I have proven myself. You told me that what we pretty much almost had was dog shit. And you unfriended me and you ghosted me during the worst times when I was dealing with a lot at my job. But now it eats at that person because now they have to see my face because I'm friends with the same person that they are chill with. That's why no matter who tries to do what to me, I keep this shut. What do you think about this person? I keep my mouth shut. Oh, they're a fantastic person. You want to know what? Why you think that no matter what type of issues I deal with streamers, I always say good of them. They're fantastic. They're amazing. Oh, they are just this awesome person. Smart, intelligent, bright, creative. Oh, I love their Avi. Oh, I love their business model. Even if a lot of what I say is not technically true, I at least look for something positive to say about them. Because you never know. Now, me as a Virgo, we have to tell the truth. So we always look for the things that we know that we do like about them. The collabs and business that you do follow you through forever. I remember having so many people that will literally almost ask me, almost beg me, please collab with me. And I will have my little small guidelines. They will be shocked at how less strict it is. And I will collab with them. And at times I won't see them again. And then there are other times I do see them again. Welcome to the reality of a cold world when it comes to business. As a VR friend of mine once said in a status, streamers are not your friends. But here's the thing I want to add on. It's not that they don't want to be. It's that they're scared and they can't be. I got lucky. And me making any more friends with streamer friends at this point won't work. But again, I did meet a few more content creators, and again, I got lucky again. Or some may say blessed. But no matter what, these same people that think that they could run away, hide, and act as if I don't exist, give me a little pity follow, and then want to say they like my stuff and then stop liking my stuff because I start being too real. And then as soon as life hits them, and then the same person that they dogged out comes back to their life and still treats them like gold, it shocks them. This is called being a fucking adult. That's what it's called. It's called being mature because you forgive the person, but you don't let them be that close to you again. I recently had to unfriend someone off of Discord. I did it for a reason because they showed me who they were. You don't have to explain yourself. Do what you got to do and keep it moving. Do I have any ill will towards this person? No. It's just that in my heart, I personally feel this is the best decision. And when you are a mature adult or someone that's coming up to be an adult, you will make these tough decisions. I recently had a good, nice talk with a friend of mine and how he will always just like to talk about what's wrong. I got raw with them, but I also let them talk. And now they're coming to me saying, "Oh, you're not going to believe this." Now they're asking me what's wrong. I said, "How does it feel to have power back?" And they looked at me and they didn't know how to respond. I was like, "Yeah, that's how it feels to have that power." The same people who thought that they could ignore me and dog me out and leave me by myself are now coming back because life is kicking their ass. It's the same thing. That's why I'm saying the collab, be careful who you collab with because it follows you through. Everyone that I collab with and added on my friends list, I have no regrets. Some of those relationships were lessons. Most of them were awesome and amazing. Some of them were just tests. And a rare few couldn't last long. It's not a big deal. I will never forget the many times that I would ask people if they want to collab. They would swerve up and down and say yes and don't fulfill their promise. To a Virgo, that's disrespectful. But here's the thing, I'm not unforgiving. I'm just, we just become wiser. So we just pretty much look at it and be like, eh. But the reason why I'm lenient when it comes to collabs is because the first time that I was late, my friend Shiloh showed me mercy and gave me another chance. So the second time I was on time, I was actually really early. And the reason why I fell asleep was because I didn't get enough sleep because I was too busy taking care of college courses at the time. This is a fact. I'll never forget that. My fellow Virgos, any questions? That's why people are done with streaming. They see the game, they don't want to play it anymore. They know it's not fair. V Shoujo just died. There's VTuber drama. Certain streamers that banned you and stuff, I promise you, they won't last long. You probably won't see them again. You'll probably see a whole exposure video on them, or they got canceled. And that will be that. It's a shame because there's a lot of talented people. I look back at a lot of people that I met, on VR chat and how they bring me so much joy. And I would bring them so much joy. We would just look at each other's content and we would just laugh, have a good time. Now the rules have changed. And in the realm of the entertainment industry and in the realm of social media, it will always change. So if you can't handle it, I don't blame you for leaving. They say if you can't take the heat, get out of the kitchen. True. But in this case, this is nearly impossible to keep up with. You want to know how I know? When I go up to these people, say, "Congrats on your 60 plus followers, 6,000 you know, 60 plus viewers, 60,000 followers." They look at me and say, "That's not nothing. I still need to eat. I don't have any money. I didn't make nothing from that stream. I only made a lousy $200 and my bill's $400." The numbers are deceiving. These big time streamers that they want to make you feel like they got a made in the shade. I guarantee you, the one streamer that's all happy and giddy and saying what they say and rehearsing their lines like it's gospel, those are the ones who have the darkest of secrets. Those are the ones that betrayed more people than you possibly could imagine. Those are the ones you got to watch out for. If you see someone that's rising to the top too fast, they sold their soul. The ones who are rising stars, they do it gradually and slowly and it feels natural. Like LeBron James, you know, like Eddie Guerrero, like any MMA fighter you can think of. That's not a WWE superstar or Ronda Rousey. They gradually worked their asses off. Ever since Holly Holmes beat Ronda Rousey, she's been humbled. And when Holly Holmes was given a chance to be at the top, she pretty much said nope, because she saw the pain and suffering that Ronda Rousey went through. And that's why I say nope to being like Iron Mouse. Nope to being like these other big furry streamers, because I know I can do it. I know I can find the best artist. I know I could just redo everything, start from scratch, and get all these viewers and followers. For what? And this type of conversation makes people uncomfortable. Good. Because what needs to be done is that, in my humble opinion, if I was big, I would create a VTuber council. Every year, all the VTubers will gather and state their biggest complaints, state how they have succeeded, state how they have failed, how they lost their viewership, and then we would take all the unpopular streamers, the ones that cause drama, bring them to the front and have them explain themselves without us even saying a word, and have that nice conversation and talk. And if they will have to attend, because they don't attend, they will be barred from being a streamer. And if they try to be a streamer, well, I'm pretty sure that there's some people out there that will make sure that doesn't happen. Because the VTuber community, as I stated before, is not a family. It never was a family. That was a lie. Anybody that tells you that we're family and they're not your blood, you better keep an eye on them. But when a Virgo says it, trust me, they mean it. But you gotta be careful with them as well, because family means you go through the good and the bad. It's a lot deeper than you think, folks. Family, blood, is deeper and thicker than water. Oh, yes. I don't know what y'all got out of this, but take it for whatever it is. Even if you're someone that just looks at this stream like, I ain't tuning in, I ain't hearing this guy. That's perfectly fine. Listen, it's perfectly fine. Because I used to say the same thing too when I was your age. Oh, I ain't gonna tune in. I'll just tune in whenever. And then it turns out that that one person, right? They don't even make content anymore. So then I had to go and find someone that was nice enough to archive all their old videos. And now I listen. I'm like, wow, I wish I was there live to listen to this. You can run from a good Virgo all you want. Not just Virgos. You can run from a good person regardless of their sign all you want. But the truth will find you. You can hide behind your followers. You can hide behind your fans. You can hide behind your numbers and success. But I promise you, the truth will find you. It found me. It's going to find you. You're going to hurt. You're going to cry. You're going to feel something. There is nothing wrong with having recognition. There is nothing wrong with having fans. There's nothing wrong with having fan art. There's nothing wrong with having followers. But every time I look these people up, and every time I talk to my friends about y'all in a positive light, it's either screwed over or they don't know who you are. And to some of y'all that start drama, you better count your blessings. I know a lot of people that told me, I used to be a big streamer and I quit because it was getting too much. I miss the days when streaming wasn't the main priority of VR chat. I miss the days where people could simply just laugh and take in offensive humor without being so offended by it. We are witnessing not only the slow death of certain social media sites and VR chat, we are witnessing the slow demise of streaming in general. It won't be as popular anymore. And people say, oh, it's these big dogs. The companies is what elevated these people to be these big dogs. Everything that you see of how these folks act is rehearsed. Doesn't feel organic, doesn't feel real. It feels staged. But when I do my streams, I want to make people feel like they're at home. Like this is reality. You'll get your entertainment, but you're going to get a good home cooked meal. You're not going to get fast food bullshit. You're not going to get memes all the time. You're not going to get, certain types of content all the time. I'm going to make sure that you get something that's fulfilling. That after this hour or so, you'll be able to tackle tomorrow if you don't see me the next day to stream. That's what I want to do. That's why I pride myself in a very handsomely and wholesome and righteous manner by making sure that each stream counts, even the bad ones. Virgos, I hope you understood what I say. You're probably thinking to yourself, oh, big streamers are saying this in their ad, blah 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 blah. That's fine, and I'm glad that they said it, but I'm the one who predicted this downfall way before they have. I predicted the downfall of V Shoujo 4 years ago. How can you predict the downfall of an agency or a company? Slowly watch how the people that work for said company agency act towards those who are less fortunate. And you start hearing rumors that they're treating them like garbage and they start blackmailing people and they start betraying friendships, then that tells you right there that there's a reason why they're doing this. I'm not trying to be right. I'm just simply being honest. Stay tuned for part two of this stream. Be right back. Welcome back to part two of this stream. I'll make this one quick because, again, I looked at the title and it says Foodie Talk is back. Yes, Foodie Talk is indeed back. So I figured I'd just talk a little bit about food and why food just doesn't feel the same anymore. And I mean, like, from big restaurants. And why I'm encouraging people to slowly but surely just kind of ease off on these restaurants. If I was going to say boycott, if I was going to say, oh, no, 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 slowly just back away. And I'm going to explain why. See, a lot of these restaurants, right, they like to add too much processed, like ingredients. If something is processed and you constantly consume it over and over again, your body is going to react to it negatively because it's not natural. So it's going to betray you. So if you eat too much processed this, processed meat, processed that, over time, it doesn't matter how much you exercise, how much you work out, whatnot, over time, your body is going to give out. And that's why you start hearing all this stuff about, oh, people have this stuff with cancer and this disease and whatnot, because you're feeding your body the wrong things. There's no balance. So that's why I always tell people make sure you drink lots of water, eat more vegetables, eat more fruit to balance out, your levels, pH levels and everything, whatnot. Because that's important. I'm gonna be honest with you. There is a restaurant that deep down I never fully trusted, and that restaurant was Wendy's. If I was gonna say McDonald's, McDonald's is obvious because that was just I call that like, oh, that's just a treat. You know, thank goodness my mother never fed me McDonald's every day. Thank goodness. But Wendy's was just something about the burgers and fries. It was all good, but it was too good. Tastes a little bit sweet. And then I knew something was wrong because when I ate an actual burger from a grill, I always said to my cousins and my family, what ingredients is being used to make this taste so much better than McDonald's and all these other restaurants? And that's when I learned the dirty truth about these restaurants. Sometimes the food is not cooked all the way. It's cooked way too fast, which means you're gambling with your health. Now, when you look at these other restaurants like 4-star, 5-star restaurants, these 3-star restaurants, um, actual real Indian, Mexican, Chinese restaurants, like restaurants that pride themselves to make sure that the food is good, fresh, and from actual ingredients, and practicing, being healthy and everything, and not adding a lot of salt and sugar. You eat this food, and you're like, this feels natural. Your body's able to digest it, and you're able to move on with your day. That's what food is supposed to do for you. Food is not supposed to give you any type of negative reaction, acid reflux, or nothing. If that's the case, that means something's wrong with the food. I pay close attention to the foods and everything that I eat. And I'm well aware that when it comes to cholesterol, you technically need some level of it, but you can't go over a certain number of percentage. So it's a little confusing because, like, for example, meat naturally has cholesterol. Even if, you cut off all the fatty meat tissue and whatnot. There's just certain food stuff that naturally have cholesterol, naturally have this fat and everything. That's fine because your body needs fat and it does need some levels of cholesterol. If your body doesn't have any cholesterol and it's in dire need of it, that can put you at a health risk. See, it's all about moderation. And the reason why I keep talking about this is because we all struggle with this. I struggle with this because I look at my gut and I'm like, holy crap, look at my gut. But at the same time, the doctor says not only do you need to work on that, well, that's just me saying that, but the doctor is telling me that I need to gain more weight, just a little bit more. So a lot of these restaurants, like McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's, like I stated, the one that I really didn't trust, Taco Bell, and just any big restaurant, it is time for the people to question them a lot more than usual. You should question them. Don't question the employees. Write letters to these corporations and ask them, what is the what is one of the ingredients that you're using that's not been added? Like I tasted your burgers back in 1990 and I noticed there's a huge change. What's really being added to the food? Challenge them. You got to do more than just talk about, oh, the food's nasty or the food's good. No, you got to really challenge them. Add some science. State, hey, I interviewed somebody and we just want to, just talk to you to see what's really in this food. You have a right. You're a taxpayer. You have a right to know what you're putting in your body. You have a right to spend your money however and whenever you want. You also have a right to live a healthy life without having to spend a lot of money. Medical expenses should be low. That is a fact. There is no defending, there is no trying to debate against that. Sometimes a lot of the diseases and whatnot that we deal with is hereditary, absolutely, but some of it could be based off of what we eat, what we do every day. The body will tell you when to rest, when to eat. It's your guide. All you have to do is follow. If your body says, I'm tired, you listen to your body. If your body says, stop eating this nasty burger from this restaurant, you throw it out or give it to the birds. Or for some of you, which you really shouldn't be doing this, you give it to an animal. Their stomach can digest it, because their digestive system is different from ours. But I'm going to say this again because I believe I talked about this before. Pay close attention to the cholesterol, the trans, the saturated, all these fats, and talk to your dietitian. Because guess what? They're learning too. And it's like what I said before on a non-related topic when it came to why people are quitting VTubing. It's going back to why people are stop eating out as much. So let me go ahead and do the exact same thing. Let me just do that. Your naturally born hated Virgos already hated enough, so let's just go ahead and just really get into it. Number one, the reason why a lot of people are just cooking at home more over time than usual. They found a better restaurant that actually cooks real food. The body wants something real. It's just like when it comes to finding a lover. They want something that's real. When you touch something, it's not digital. You want something that feels real. We want something that's real, not prosthetic, not fake, not fabricated, not digital, real. Because life is precious, regardless of what we go through. When you go to Taco Bell and you taste their food, it's good. It's amazing. But then all of a sudden it hurts your stomach or it gives you food poisoning. But you're like, oh, well, my budget, But then you go to an actual real Mexican restaurant and you devour 6 plates of their nachos. All natural, right ingredients, lower cholesterol cheese and whatnot. Healthy because it's real food. Americanized food is processed and fake. It is a treat. You can eat it, but it is not something you should gorge on. It is a treat. Treat yourself to a premium chicken sandwich with fries and a medium Coke. Then you work that off, you exercise, you jog. Then you eat a bowl of fruit, a bowl of vegetables, and then you cook the rest of the day. And then you don't go back until maybe 2, 3 weeks, or 4 or 5 weeks. If you think for 1 second that I eat Raisin Canes every week, I can't eat Raisin Canes every week. That's too much saturated fat. The cholesterol is way too high. I tell you, it's a miracle. Every time I go to the doctor, they tell me your cholesterol levels are perfect. They just tell me the only thing you need to work on is your weight. Gain more, eat more. It's a miracle. And I keep it that way. No cancer, no nothing. I'm blessed. I'm happy. So that's why when people tell me, is everything okay? Yes. Because the type of health issues that people go through, that could be me. So the only thing that's going on with me is, oh, I need to gain weight. Oh, I'm dealing with some issues with my toes. I just need to retrain my toes. Um, I got a little bit of a gut that I can easily just work out. If you're telling me that's all I gotta focus on, and I gotta wear glasses and stuff. Oh, and I got 12 silver cap. I got like 12 like caps in my teeth. If you're telling me that these little minor inconveniences is all I gotta focus on, I should not be complaining at all. But yeah, when you find a better restaurant, you'll never go back. You don't need a McDonald's. You don't need a Taco Bell. And a lot of these restaurants are going under. Good. Because these restaurants need to learn to actually cook some real decent food instead of making food that's slowly killing people. Hulk Hogan, Terry Boella could still be alive to this day, and a lot of other rich folks, good rich folks, right? Good people, regardless whether they're rich or not, could still be alive to this day if they took their health a little bit more seriously, if they heed the words of an angel, the warning. Number two, it ruins your diet. The moment you eat that stuff, it's like starting all over again. It is. You eat Raisin Canes, you go and you gorge and gorge. You got to start all over again. You got to work out twice as hard. You got to exercise twice as hard because you didn't want to have a balance and tell yourself, let me limit how much of this stuff that I eat. That's why I say you need to find restaurants that are natural, that are actual. You need to find restaurants that actually use real meat, real lettuce. You're going to notice a difference. I had a big old plate of nachos, and they use organic ingredients, cheese, meat, organic. Not everything was fresh. And I thought, I'm going to have a heartburn. I did not have any heartburn. And I said, this is a treat. It is food. Yes, it filled me up. It was good for me, but it was a treat. And I treat it as such. White Castles, all these other restaurants, no. And every time I hear about these folks talking about, oh, I got a heart attack, oh, I'm having issues with my gut, oh, this, oh, that. And then I always say, and then when they talk to me, they say, oh, it's because I've been eating out too much. But yet, when someone like me or many others, or someone with a million followers, right, who gives out all these tips, letting people know to stop doing it, and they do it anyway, which is in your right to do so, and then they want to cry and talk about, oh, I got diabetes. The warning was issued. Why didn't you just listen? So again, you can have the food. You just can't eat it for breakfast, lunch, dinner. And please don't do like many others and save the food. If you don't finish it, throw it out. Now again, if it's from a restaurant and they actually cook the food properly, like I'm talking like a restaurant you never heard of, 3 star, 4 star. Tell yourself you got 2 days to eat it and then afterwards throw it out. Food preservation can be dangerous if you don't know how to properly freeze it and to store it. My mother tells me all the time, you are a miracle for all the times you leave food sitting out that you did not end up in the hospital with food poisoning. Number 3, health related issues. Now, some people can safely say and sue and all that stuff, and it's in the right to do so, blah, 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 blah. But again, it goes back to this, it's a choice. They didn't force you to eat their food. They didn't force you. And if they go under it, doesn't matter because they'll just close that restaurant, just open up 500 or 500,000 more chains if they're a franchise. That's just how they are. 500 die or 5 million die. They could just produce 5 million more because they already made their money through stocks. Or they could just be rebranded under another name. Just don't eat at these restaurants. Find ways to cook fresh food. There are a lot of dietitians, health experts with 1,000, 5,000, 50,000, 500,000 subscribers. All the stories about how they say that they used to eat out these restaurants and how it ruined their life. Those are not fiction, those are reality. But what they show is that they had to work out twice as hard to get rid of all that weight. Don't do that to yourself. Love yourself. Find actual organic, meals. Find something that's good for you. Try not to consume a lot of cholesterol. Not too much. It's not just moderation is key. It's self-control is key. Tell yourself you can get it another time. And last but not least, as to why the smart people are slowly just done with these restaurants. It's expensive. That cheeseburger Happy Meal that used to be only $1.50 or $2 is now $5. That Big Mac that was once like what, 4 or 3, $12. It's getting expensive. And some may argue, well, it's a little bit more expensive just to get food from the grocery store. Well, you have to choose. You want to live or do you want to live in pain and suffering? I'd rather spend a little extra on groceries and make sure I get the foods that are right for me, right for my diet, versus, eat out this restaurant knowing that it is slowly hurting me. Again, if you are someone that does this on occasion, rarely, you're fine. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the ignorant motherfuckers. And I will say this to you because there's too many reported deaths about y'all because y'all don't want to exercise and eat right. Those are the ones, right, that you have to really be careful about because here's the thing. You have to tell yourself it's always going to be there. That buskin pie, treat yourself. Don't eat the whole thing. Tell yourself, I'm going to eat a small piece and give the rest to an orphan. Let me tell you something. You're better off just eating a small piece of that pie and then learning how to make your own pie, something that's a little bit healthier and tastes even better. and can save your life. Imagine being able to eat pie every single day if you just cook it right. All it takes is just replacing the ingredients, and you have something that tastes even better. I had Culver's, and Culver's, in my opinion, is probably one of the healthier alternatives when it comes to fast food burger joints. You want to know how I know? Because Senpai Moist Critical, someone I look up to, one of my favorite streamers, recommend this restaurant. And I'm glad he did. And it turns out Culver's has been around for a while. Now, Culver's, on the other hand, needs to really do a better job with their chicken and their fish sandwiches. But other than that, their burgers is their selling point. Would I eat there every day? No. Because at the end of the day, it's fast food. Rather just eat my own burgers. Plus, it gets expensive. We live in sad times where ice cream can put you at risk. Ice cream. I remember when I was a kid, I could eat, like a tub of ice cream here, small tub of ice cream there. No, it went from, oh, you had to worry about your teeth, to now look at all this cholesterol, look at all of this, look at all that, look at all this, the saturated fat, all of this. I've never dealt with that with ice cream. I'm scared to eat ice cream now. I remember one time when I had ice cream from this one ice cream parlor, and I felt myself having like a headache and everything. I didn't know what was wrong with me. And then I realized it was too much sugar. So my days of being able to do that are over. Or maybe it was just a certain ice cream that I had. I don't know. But I tested this out, and I noticed that my body just now reacts differently to certain foods and everything. That's my body saying, you had your fun. I'm done. Give us something different. And it's interesting because there are certain ice creams that I would see with like high sugar and whatnot, and I would eat it and I'm fine. It's the ingredients. Pay attention. This is a bonus one. People are sick and tired of feeling sick and feeling lightheaded and feeling like they're about to throw up. People want to eat food that doesn't hurt them in the end. You understand me? They want to eat something that's fresh and that's real. This is really easy. Just stay away from 95% of restaurants and only focus on the restaurants that pride themselves in being organic, healthy, and ask questions. Make sure you ask some questions. You're better off eating Chinese food from a Chinese restaurant that you trust. You're better off learning how to make your own Chinese food. You're better off eating Indian food. You're better off eating Mediterranean food. You're better off eating seafood than you are any of these other so-called Americanized restaurants. In Thailand, you could literally eat their food every day because it's fresh. Can you imagine eating McDonald's every day? Their McDonald's, which is actually good for you. What is wrong with America? Seriously. We have a president who's more focused on all these other issues, but can't even bother to at least question these restaurants and saying, why can't we have other options where it tastes good and is healthy? Instead of, the extremist route that the Obamas went. No disrespect to them, and I don't blame them. I get why Michelle Obama went the route that she went, but I mean, it didn't have to go to that extreme. It's just, what can you do? So every time I look at my obese friends, I just look at them and say, you're beautiful, you're lovely, and you're amazing. I do this because I do care about them and I love them. But it pains me to my soul because I want to tell them so badly, please stop. Because I don't want to look at your gravestone over the fact that you didn't want to eat right. It would hurt me if I ever have to see that because you didn't want to eat right. You didn't want to run for at least a good hour or at least jog. We all got to work on it. You don't have to do like super intense exercises like you see on YouTube. You don't have to do that. You can just do your stretches, your push-ups, your crunches, your sit, you lift your little weights. And before you know it, an hour has already passed. And you do your little shadow boxing. If you're a martial artist, you do your little martial arts. And then you feed your body something that's good for you. Use these restaurants for like occasions, like birthdays, Christmas, which be careful eating out Christmas. Um, Thanksgiving, definitely be careful when eating out on Thanksgiving. It's better just to cook your own food. It just depends. Just understand that we're all still learning about this, and no one's to blame. Like I said, come on, folks. I like these restaurants, but I wish, and I've been wishing this since I was young. I wish they would do a better job, offer better options. And their salads are bullshit. You don't add sugar to salad. That's disgusting. You keep it plain, and that's that. That's all I gotta say when it comes to food, and of course that. Four reasons, four reasons with the VTubing situation and streaming situation in general, and four reasons when it comes to the food. This is your natural born hated Virgo speaking. I'll be right back because I'm gonna take care of something real quick.